Okay, guys, I have tried to get on here and record this several times. I'm gonna try to hold it together this time while I'm telling y'all everything. I had found out that one of my husband's friends were shot in the back of the head. Very sad situation. My husband spoke with his brother, and when the ambulance had took him to the hospital, a detective spoke with the guy's brother, and they didn't know his name in the hospital. I tried to get in touch with the hospital several times, several different hospitals. We were told that he was brought to one hospital and he was actually brought to another, but neither hospitals would give me information. And then the detective got in contact with the brother, and the brother told my husband to call him because he doesn't speak very good English. So my husband spoke with him, and my husband actually asked me to call the detective just so that we were on better understanding of what was going on. And so basically he was in the hospital. There was some rumors going around that the guy was dead whenever the ambulance picked him up. But he was not dead. There was actually some rumors also that he was shot or that he was beaten with something, a bottle or something, and he, in fact, was not dead, and he was shot in the back of the head. So he was facing away from the person who shot him, according to the trajectory of the bullet. So he was in very bad condition. We went last week to visit him. We went with his brother to see him, and I was told that he had a very, very small chance of recovering. He did have some brain activity, so they couldn't declare him brain dead. They couldn't take him off life support. He was on life support. They couldn't take him off of life support because he was still having brain activity. And then last Friday, they actually said that he had more brain activity and he was responding to talk. When they talked to him, they saw that his brain activity changed. It increased. They were noticing when they touched his hands or his arms, that his body was reacting to touch. He was still not awake. We were told that if he did wake up, that he wouldn't be able to open his eyes because of the path of the bullet. But the doctors asked him if he, they basically said that there's no chance of him waking up even though he's reacting to things, and they asked him if he wanted to sign a form allowing him to be an organ donor. So the person, he is from Honduras, and his father and his sister was there in Honduras, and the doctors agreed to wait until his family got there to the hospital to see him, and the brother had an appointment with the doctor yesterday to come in, but when he got there to the hospital, they wouldn't let him into the floor or into the halls to get to the room. You have to go through security to get through this part of the hospital. It is like a critical care floor, and so they won't let people in unless they're related. So they wouldn't let him into the room. They said, your brother is no longer in the room. We can't tell you what's going on. He had a lot of conversations with a neurosurgeon, who basically could tell him anything, all the answers that he had, but he was told that the neurosurgeon was in surgery and there was no one else there to talk to him. So he was basically told to leave the hospital because no one would tell him what was going on. And we are assuming that it's possible that they decided to go ahead and do the organ donations to transplant them, remove his organs. We're not really understanding why the hospital would just move forward this decision instead of waiting for him to get there. I'm not sure if there's some kind of part of the form that he filled out, that he signed, agreed to, that said if there was any signs of organ failure that they would go ahead and move forward. The brother did not get closure because the hospital basically killed him. They took him off of life support without him being there. They did not wait for the family to get there. They did not wait for him to get there. He got there for his appointment with the doctor at 1 o'clock yesterday, and his brother was already gone. They had already moved forward with the procedure, which is really, really sad. So that has been going on. Trying to hold it together for y'all. Sorry. So what I know is we were there. We prayed for this man's salvation. We prayed, obviously we prayed for his healing, but the most important was his salvation because it's important, you know. But we believe in our hearts that he has gone on to be with Jesus, and it was a very sad situation. Obviously, it's something that's going to be in the back of our minds and our hearts for a while. But I try not to cry on here. If you have not made your life right with God, if you have not made things right with family members, it's important to do so. It is really important to do so. Tell them that you love them. Ask God for forgiveness every day, and He will forgive you. We are never promised tomorrow, and we never know when our time is going to come. So if you aren't living right, it's time. You are never too far away from God to be saved, to turn things around. You're never too far for Him to hear you when you call out His name. Just say Jesus, and you ask for forgiveness every day, and make sure that your heart is right with Him before it's too late.